Everybody, so I'm going to be quick. This is just a quick testimony. So, you know how I was telling you earlier today that I was low on funds and, I was able to buy food for my dog. And then some things started to come through that I was not expecting. And in faith, I know God's going to take care of me. I know He knows what I need. There was a transaction that I had made that He had sent me to go get food last week before I got paid. And I don't typically look at my pending, only because the way that my bank works, it holds the funds. So I don't have to, what I have in my account is what I have. It's not, I have to wait till it gets deducted and then it'll get updated. The bank will hold the funds, and that way when the payment gets processed, the funds are already separated for that payment. And I do sometimes look at my pending just to see what's coming through. But this company, this restaurant, canceled the payment. And I'm like, no restaurant is going to cancel a payment for services rendered when you buy a product. Only God. Only God. And when you have faith, irrefutable faith, and you believe it in your heart that He is going to come through for you, miracles and blessings. And if you guys watch Tell My People by Carolina, she just did a video yesterday about the blessings that are coming that are going to be mind-blowing. And it's going to be blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. And I did a video on that as well. And he did say that it's going to come so fast that we're not going to, our human minds are not going to have the capacity to understand what He's doing. And we're just going to be like in awe of the things that are coming through. And remember, tomorrow begins the holiday of the flowers. And God is a God of seasons and a God of order. And as long as you are in alignment with His word to receive His blessings, the open doors that are going to start to open in this season will bless you regardless of where you are in your walk, regardless of how much work you have left to do, how young you are in your walk. It doesn't matter. You will reap the benefits in the season that you are in. You will reap the benefits in season and out of season. And He's been sending me to go eat at In-N-Out because it's prophetic. He's been telling me in and out, in and out. And I'm like, why in and why out? And this is where you have to use your discernment to understand what God is saying. If you look at a sign or you look at a situation at face value with no depth of perception, then you're going to miss what God is trying to tell you. God is constantly pointing us in the direction He wants us to go, constantly showing us where He wants us to have a seat, where we are going to receive the blessings that he has for us. Have you ever noticed that when you enter a certain place, you receive a blessing, but when you enter a different place or the same place at a different time, you don't receive a blessing? You have to know the times and the seasons that you're in. You have to understand how he is setting up the blessings. And there will come a time where it doesn't matter whether you're on time or not. It doesn't matter whether you are there at the right time or not. He is going to bless you regardless. And all this because I was obedient this morning in talking about why he says I'm Sarah. Because I wasn't planning on sharing that information with anyone other than my spouse. But when they say works without faith is dead, faith without works is death. What it means is if you hear God's voice in faith and you do not speak or work according to that word, then you truly don't have faith in what he told you. You truly don't have the spiritual discernment to understand what he's asking of you in that moment. As you grow in your walk, you will get better, and it will be easier to accept when God is telling you to do something, especially when you start to feel and see the blessings in the moment when you do according to God's will. And this is how he teaches us, because when we start out with God in the beginning, we're like children. He has to leave crumbs for us and lead us spoonfully. You know, he can't get too far ahead of us or he'll lose us. So he has to stay very close. He has to hold our hands. And then we get into our adolescence where we start to think that we know enough. And he's like, okay, let me bring you back a little bit because you're getting ahead of me. And we do. We get a little bit ahead and things go wrong. And then we go, oh, no, what happened? And so it's all part of our learning. It's all part of our education. And then when we get to be mature, but still childlike, where we still have ourself, our normal, who we are to the core self. And we are able to be genuinely that persona, that individual, without allowing the world to change us according to its needs and its preferences. But we can be ourselves regardless of where we are, regardless of who we're in front of, regardless if it's a boss, if it's a friend, if it's a family member. It doesn't matter. We are who we are because God has told us who we are. And nothing can change that. Nothing can prevent us from being that. And in this hour, that is what is most important, is being true to who we are in God and ensuring that our temple is not desecrated by the world, because the world is not going to like what we are doing in God. The world is not going to want anyone else to see the things that God is doing in us. They are not going to like the fact that we are having children, that our families are whole, that our families are happy, that our families are thriving, that our families are multiplying, that our families are financially secure, not just for our now generation, but for our future generations. And he is going to have us lay down a framework, a way of preserving our inheritance, the financial stability and the financial success that he is going to bring to us. He is going to stabilize it in such a way that it will be able to financially sustain hundreds of thousands of generations. The enemy will never be able to take away the financial stability that he will bring into our lives. Lucifer will no longer be able to manifest his fake life, his fake world, his fake anything, his fake thinking, his fake generation, the fake lifestyle that we had when we were first walking with God, trying to be delivered from that evil life that we ended up getting involved with. And as we continue to walk and we continue to become closer and have a deeper relationship with God, and we are no longer his servants, but we are now his children, we are now his friends, we are now equals in his world, because we have created such a relationship with him that he can trust us with whatever work he needs us to do. And he knows that we will fulfill according to his will, not according to ours, not according to the world's, not according to the fake life that Lucifer tries to portray. And because of the awakening that he is doing in us, we will be the salt. We will rub everyone else the wrong way. They will look at us and they will not understand why they don't like us. Because at that point, they're going to want to change their attitude, change their behavior, just to be able to glean off of us, to siphon off of us a little bit of the blessing, a little bit of the godliness. And that is when we need to see these people not as the enemy, but as our brothers and sisters who need to be prayed over, who need to be loved, who need to be cared for, and who need to be given to God in prayer. And all of this, I'm saying because of $7.89 that was returned to my account. And 789 in the Greek's concordance means fire, Lord. And there's only one Lord I know who brings the fire, who has said, by the fire he will test them and they will not uphold. And he's talking about Satan's children, Lucifer's minions, the people who have chosen to walk with him and have chosen to walk away from God. They will be tried by the fire, just like we were tried by the fire. But because we are his children, we are God's children, we are God's chosen for the end of the world as it stands today, with Lucifer running amok, changing genders, attacking children, attacking women, attacking men, demasculating men, demasculating women. The world that I see today is so upside down, topsy-turvy, that I never imagined that the prophecy in the Bible, where God tells us that wrong will be right and right will be wrong. I never thought that my generation would be the generation to see it come to fruition. But now, looking back at all the stepping stones that God put in front of me, looking back at all the things that he laid out in front of me, the foundation that he was giving me, I realized that he was setting me up for this exact time, for a time such as this. And it was up to me whether or not I walked forward. It was up to me whether or not he was able to use me the way he's using me. And when I looked back at the world, at the life that I had left, at the Egypt that he had delivered me from, I never fit in there anyway. So why would I want to go back to it? Because now, even though I'm alone and the only one I have with me is my dog, I feel more love And I feel more accepted than I ever did living with through two brothers, a sister, a mom, a dad, uncles, aunts, cousins, having friends. I feel more accepted now that I'm all alone, that I have not a single person in my corner, than I did when I had an entire village. Even when my kids were born, they were close to me for just a brief moment before they were turned against everything I believed in. And that is when God said, they cannot go with you. I have to do a work in them. Your prayers, the walk that you are doing is